Hey, the Institute just sent us our newest assignment. Looks like there's something about a giant turtle island. I love turtles. Oh, it says here that we're already on Turtle Island. I guess we don't have to go very far. Our mission this week is to explore the Haudenosaunee creation story. We'll need to explain the role of the Sky Woman and her children, and then we'll connect this story to Haudenosaunee culture and learn more about that turtle. Before we head out, you should know that the Haudenosaunee are an alliance of 6 unique Native American nations, including the Mohawk, the Oneida, the Onondaga, the Cayuga, the Seneca, and the Tuscarora. Prior to colonization, these nations inhabited the area that is now New York State and portions of Canada. Each group has their own traditions and languages, but they do have plenty of shared culture. Let's head out and see what we can learn. We've traveled to a Haudenosaunee Longhouse. These buildings housed multiple families from the same clan. Around 60 people would live in the same longhouse, so they were around 80 to 100 feet in length and 20 feet wide. These shared communal spaces were often the site of important political and ceremonial gatherings as well. The clans that lived in longhouses were extended families, and the heads of each clan was the clan mother. The Haudenosaunee were matrilineal, which means they traced their lineage and inheritance through the mother's line. Haudenosaunee stories were passed down orally, often in longhouses like this one. There were many different versions of this myth, and details have changed over the course of history. However, each telling features the Sky Woman, a giant turtle, and twin brothers. Before the Earth existed as it does now, it was covered in deep water. The only living things were water creatures. Far above the Earth, there was a floating island where the Sky People lived, free from death or illness. In the center was a great tree. One day, the tree was pulled up, and a pregnant Sky Woman fell through the hole that it left. A group of birds saw her approaching and made a blanket with their wings for her to land on. The other animals knew that she would need a more permanent place to live. A great turtle volunteered to keep the woman on its back while the other animals dove down in the water, searching for mud to use in building her a permanent home. After several failed attempts by different animals, one finally found success. Some say it was a toad, others a beaver, and others a muskrat. Once the mud was retrieved, they placed it in the turtle's back and it began to grow exponentially. This became North America, which is why the indigenous groups refer to the continent as Turtle Island. The Sky Woman eventually gave birth to a daughter, who would grow up and give birth to twin boys. One twin, sometimes called Sapling, was gentle and created all that was good, while the other, sometimes called Flint, was evil. He was destructive and created obstacles. Sapling created rivers with smooth currents, while Flint created rapids and waterfalls. Sapling created strong trees, but Flint made gnarls and thorns grow on some of them. The pattern went on until all the world was created. Eventually, Sapling challenged his brother to a series of trials. Some tell of a game of lacrosse, while others recount a long battle. Sapling, the good twin, was ultimately victorious, but Flint could not be killed. He is as much of a part of the earth as Sapling. In some versions, Flint is banished to live underground. In other versions, he remains the keeper of the night, while Sapling rules the day. Ultimately, the force of good and the force of evil remain on Earth to influence nature and humanity. Alright, what cultural connections can we make today? Remember that etiological tales attempt to explain how things came to be, but these stories also offer additional insight into the cultures that told them. We know that this story explains the formation of North America, or Turtle Island, as well as all the different flora and fauna. But what else does it reveal? Let's think about it. According to the myth, all life on Turtle Island originated from the Sky Woman. How might this belief have influenced their societal structure? Take a moment to look back through your video notes to reveal what you've learned and write down your thoughts. Remember that the Haudenosaunee had a matrilineal system. This placed significant authority and responsibility on women, particularly the clan mothers, who would appoint leaders, pass down traditions, and help resolve conflict in the community. Women played a powerful role in leadership, property rights, agriculture, education, and cultural preservation. The Sky Woman is often interpreted as a symbol of the importance of women in their society. Okay, so we've got an idea of how the Haudenosaunee structured their communities, but what did they think about the world around them? Think about the roles of nature within this myth. Based on this story, how do you think the Haudenosaunee view the natural world? Take a moment to write down your thoughts. The idea of the earth being formed on the back of a turtle is a powerful metaphor for the earth as a living, breathing entity. This concept aligns with the Haudenosaunee view of the earth as a provider and sustainer of life that deserves respect and care. To take it a step further, the myth illustrates a symbolic relationship between humans and nature. The Sky Woman, a celestial being, relies on the animals to survive and create a new world, symbolizing the interdependence between humans and the natural world. The Haudenosaunee view nature not as something to be dominated, but as a partner and a vital component of existence. Finally, think about each twin. In the story, Sapling and Flint are always a part of the earth, even though they clash. What does this tell us about the Haudenosaunee view of good, evil, and the balance between them? Think about the role that each twin had in creation and write down your ideas. What do you think? The twins show us that the Haudenosaunee believe life consists of both good and bad, and both are necessary for balance. Remember that Flint, the twin that represents evil, could not be killed. His exact fate varies among the different tribes of the Haudenosaunee, but he always survives. This points to a belief that you cannot have the good without the bad. Life and death, creation and destruction are interdependent. But more often than not, when good and evil are pitted against each other, good wins over evil. This theme can be found throughout many Haudenosaunee tales, not just in this one. Great work! Looks like we've revealed another piece of a codex page. We'll take this back to the Institute. The story of the Sky Woman provides insight into the Haudenosaunee's deep respect for nature. the significant role women play in their matrilineal society, and their beliefs on the balance between good and evil. Creation myths like these not only explain the origins of the world, but also offer valuable insights into the enduring culture and values of the people who tell them. Because even today, the Haudenosaunee continue to thrive, practicing their cultural traditions and preserving important stories, just like this one. As you reflect on this myth, think about how it compares to other creation stories and what it reveals about human relationships with the natural world. Until next time, keep exploring and remember to stay legendary.